People often ask in comments if minimalism and decluttering has affected the kids, either negatively or positively. I look for signs. I try to find, snippets in their life that tell me that it's having a positive impact on them. I notice for sure that their behavior and their stress levels and their hyperactivity decreases when we have less visual clutter. It's the same thing for me. Less visual clutter. It's just less stress inducing. And so I was focusing on this day here in this video on the toys in our family room. Specifically, I wanted to move the shelf from behind the couch and put it back under the window. We had it there last fall and winter. The kids played with it more on the rug right directly in front of the television than actually playing with the toys behind the couch or actively choosing to take a bin and walk around to the coffee table. So I just wanted to make it a little more accessible and visible to them. My problem was the number of bins available to them to pick from on the shelf. There are 12, and that's 8 different kinds of open-ended toys and then 4 bins of electronic learning games. There's Osmo, Yodo, a leapfrog thing, and Happy Atoms. I recently added them to the shelf, the top, and the shelf has been bugging me, as it does a few times a year. And so I asked the kids to help me and to really give consideration to the toys that they were choosing to keep. I'm going to tell you right now here at the beginning of this video, this was not an easy project. You are seeing a 10-minute snapshot summary of a 2.5-hour project. This took us 2.5 hours. We had to take a lot of breaks. We had to talk through some things. I had to help them understand why I was asking certain things. It is not easy to declutter with kids. I talk out my decluttering process. I talk about, I spent money on this, or it's sentimental, or can I use it? Do I need it? Do I love it? Can I get rid of it? Who could I donate it to? Who would better enjoy this item? They have heard me talk these things out loud for the last 4 years. So when this conversation happened that I'm about to share with you between my 6-year-old and myself, I was floored at the fortitude and the verbiage that he had to talk through how he was feeling about stuff. No one has played with Duplo in months.
Oh yeah.
Do you still want Duplo? You do. Why?
Oh, Duplo!
Go ahead.
Because I don't want to get rid of stuff that when you already bought it.
You don't want to get rid of stuff when you've spent money on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you get rid of it and still paid the money, you don't get back.
No, you don't get the money back. But is it okay to not get the money back? Because you played with the toy and you had fun with the toy when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really play with it anymore. Hey, Jack.
Yeah?
It's okay. It's okay to get rid of stuff you spent money on if it doesn't, work for you anymore. I want you to keep Duplo because you want to play with it, not because mommy spent money on it.
Okay.
So, do you want to keep Duplo because you want to play with it?
Yes.
Okay. Great conversation. Fist bump. I was so floored that he found a way to tell me he was worried about getting rid of it because we had spent money on it, which means he's heard conversations about money in relation to stuff. And I worry now that maybe I created some money issues in my kids, but I think being aware of what things cost and how to place a value on things is really important when you're a kid. And choosing to keep a toy is a perfectly fine decision if that's what you want to do. And I don't force them to make decisions. Did he play Duplos at all in the last 4 months? No. Is he going to play again in the next 4 months? Maybe, but it's his decision and he chose to want to keep it because he wants it to be fun and he wants to play with it. And so I had to set that boundary for him and to be able to say, it's okay to keep your things. I am not going to force you into that decision. I want to thank Beam for sponsoring this video. Beam makes a dream powder. It's a delicious bedtime hot cocoa. They have many flavors available in their sleep collection. I have the chocolate peanut butter flavor. Allow me to tell you why I chose to share them with you today. Insomnia has been a super fun side effect of perimenopause these last couple of years, and I have tried melatonin gummies, but they make me wake up drowsy and sleep in a lot later than I like. I don't have that reaction with this hot chocolate. I mix mine with milk. I usually use 1 scoop. You can use 1 or 2 scoops with milk or with water. About 30 to 45 minutes before you're ready to go to sleep, you drink a mug of this hot chocolate. I always end up leaving my mug on my bedside because I am too tired to go back downstairs. Subscribe for your order of Dream Powder and save 20%. Plus, you're going to get an additional 15% on top of that and a free frother by using my code Erica Lucas when you click my link or scan the QR code on your screen now. That's up to 35% off the original price, and you can pause, skip, or cancel anytime. Thank you again to Beam for sponsoring this video. I'm just helping them stay organized and helping them continually revisit what they want to keep in their play space or in their bedrooms, and that it's a practice. It's an ongoing decision. Decluttering is an ongoing practice. I used to think at the beginning of this 4 years ago that I would declutter everything we needed to get rid of and we would be done. It is absolutely done seasonally in our house. Usually the change of season triggers me to want to do things like this, just kind of hit the reset on each room and get it to where it's a little bit more simple. And that is really something I have learned, even with all the decluttering, thousands and thousands of things. The only way I have found to really simplify a space, it's not organization, it is not finding the right spot in our house. It's just simply less stuff. To own less stuff, you have to want less stuff. To want simple and easy systems to maintain and manage, especially with toys, you gotta have less toys. It's just something I have to revisit several times a year with them. They outgrow toys. They get new toys for Christmas and birthdays and grandparents and for fun and things they spent their own money on. And so things come in and things go out. This was really hard for a couple of reasons. One, just the sheer volume of things they have picked up since the last time we have done that. They had all the bins were mixed up. That's another reason it was stressful and not easy. And they did not want to get rid of anything. Everything we kept talking about while we were organizing and sorting was a keep for them. I haven't seen this in so long. I want to keep this. And they found themselves very attached at the discovery of stuff during the sorting and organizing phase. I am now able to make decisions as I'm sorting and organizing about decluttering. Kids just didn't have that ability when we were doing this today. They didn't have the ability to look at a toy and say, yeah, man, I'm really ready to let go of that. All 3 kids needed to be involved in the decision making for this, in the sorting and the organizing. It was important to me that they went through their stuff and sorted it and organized it, categorized it, and got it back onto the shelves. All 4 of us, my husband wasn't home today, all 4 of us just kind of ebbed and flowed in this project for these 2.5 hours, where someone would come in and work on it for a little while or play with something and then check out. Another person would come in, or I would come in and say, everybody give me 5 minutes of focus. Let's get some progress done. I wanted to rush it. I wanted to be done with it. I wanted to get these things back on the shelves, have them pick a few categories that we can donate and be done with. But that was not the process for them on this day. But we had to finish what we started. And that's a habit I'm trying to teach them. That when we get stuff out, we got to put it back. Having a tidy home is great. It's great to build systems that support something like that. But ultimately, my vision is always to have peace and calm in our home. And if that means there needs to be less stuff that is available to our eyes and our hands, then that is what needs to happen. And after they had sorted and the boys put everything back onto the shelves, they took a big break and played with their iPads and played some video games and just decompressed after a project like that. Then they, on their own, came back to me with ones they really thought through and were ready to declutter. And I had to allow so much time and mental space and emotional space for them to go through this process. We ended up with this pile of stuff that just belongs elsewhere in the house. This is a pile of trash, not that dinosaur, but this is a pile of trash. And then this is the shelf as it ended up. All the shelves, all the bins back on the shelf. Those are Connects. Brennan, how are you feeling about Connects?
We can donate it.
You don't really play it.
No, you're right.
Jack, what are you thinking about Connects?
I want to donate it.
You want to donate that one?
Yeah.
Okay, and I will just check with your sister, but yeah, I think Connects could probably go. What else?
I don't really play with these anymore.
Brendan, how do you feel about dominoes or Jenga? Keep or donate?
Keep.
Keep, okay.
Yeah, I want to keep too. What about these? I don't want
The Duplo train tracks?
Yeah, I don't
You feel like you could donate those?
Yeah.
Okay, take that bin out. Good for you, Jack. I'm glad, but you want to keep Duplos,
Yeah, I want to keep the other.
but not the train.
Yes.
Can I ask why? You don't like the train?
Yeah, because it's kind of boring when you don't have to move the train on your own.
Oh, when the train moves for you, it's boring.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really helpful information. Thank you. Good for you, pal. Good decisions, bud. They took their time and really made great decisions. Got rid of Connects, trains, and Lincoln Logs. This basket is going in the trash. It keeps falling apart. It used to hold Hot Wheels tracks, and the Hot Wheels things that are right next to it, the gray box and the green and the red box, broke it apart, and now it just scratches legs or the dog chews on it. So the red box and the gray box are also going to be trashed, and then these things I'm going to donate. I'm going to find that missing train for that. All the Lincoln Logs I'm actually going to put into a bag for homeschool co-op, and we have a swap table where you can just put stuff and people can take it for free at our homeschool co-op. So I'm going to do that. And we ended up with 9 bins instead of 12 bins on the shelf. I took one of the 4 learning game bins from the top and moved it to the schoolroom because it's one they play a little bit less often than these other ones. And so then I ended up with 9 choices here on this toy table and moved it in front of the window right by the rug in front of the television. So now they'll be more apt to play with it here. And this is a part for me after decluttering that I always really struggle with. It's the end, it's the follow through, where the stuff that belongs somewhere else in your house needs to get put away. Some of these were really easy decisions. They just belonged in their bedroom. So I kept putting that into a bin to carry upstairs and just put in their rooms and they can deal with it. And then other things had to make a decision about where they needed to go in the house. And this is always something that takes time. These are game pieces that ended up here in this tray as we were sorting some stuff for school. And then all that stuff needed to go upstairs. And so then the process of actually finishing means I had to go put stuff away. The kids worked really hard, so I didn't ask for their help with this final step. But I went and put all the missing game pieces back in their boxes that ended up in the toy bin over the last several months. And we've been playing these games without these pieces or these cards, so it's been working out okay. But I wanted everything returned to its rightful place. So all the missing cards for Zap, for Sonic Uno, I had to put the new doors on the Guess Who. There was a chess piece that we have been looking for. So all these things just needed to go back into their spot. And it's time consuming, it's a little bit tedious, but it's also therapeutic to finish a decluttering job by putting all the little pieces that have been missing from games back where they belong. And for me, finishing the job just meant putting everything where it belonged in our family room. So I wanted to find a home for those benches that go in this room. I thought it might be great as sort of a footrest for the smaller chair. And then I tucked this one underneath our blanket hooks as just extra seating around this room that we can move to wherever. I didn't like how it looked. I thought it needed something like just some books strewn onto it that are large books that the kids actually lay on the floor and read together. So I thought it would be nice if they were a little more available to them by just using them as using the ottoman as like a little shelf for just a couple of books. I wanted it simple. I wanted it easy to choose. So I'm happy with how this came out, and the family is settled into the new space. Of course, we're watching TV instead of playing toys, but Pop-Pop's here, and so we're hanging with him. Thank you for sharing part of your day and your time with me today, and here's another video.